Usama was born in Egypt and raised in a Christian home as the son of a Baptist pastor. He became a Christian at the age of 11. Usama learned about Islam in school because it was and still is a mandatory subject. To further his knowledge of Islam, he studied Islamic law in college. Usama came to the United States in 1992 after his marriage to his beautiful bride back here at the back table, Vicky, an American whom he met in Germany when they were both in full-time ministry. In 1997, they were blessed with a son, Caleb. Usama holds a bachelor's degree in theology and a master's degree in missiology from New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. Usama has translated the Quran from Arabic to the first true and accurate English translation called The Generous Quran, a book that must be read by all Westerners in order to know the truth about Islam. So no further ado, I present to you Usama.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
It's fun to be in Missouri. Believe it or not, we're about to build a home here. We start somehow. So I'm going to be a Missourian. Is that what I say? So I said it's going to be a home for us. And I hope and I pray that as we get closer to you, we can spend more time in the future to talk about these issues. The presentation I'm going to do tonight is about revealing the truth about jihad and terrorism of Islam. It's actually 123 slides. If we do 60 tonight, it'll be awesome. So I'm going to do my best to go fast. You have to listen faster. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here and missing anything I'm trying to show. The Street Way Ministry, as you see on the board, can we turn the light off in the front here a little bit? It's the whole house off. I don't want you to sleep. Oh, this one, other one. Does this make you go sleep? No. All right, good. The Straightway Grace Ministry, the name here comes from two verses. The first verse comes from the book of the Quran, and the second verse comes from the Bible. Sadly, most American people have not read the Quran, and many of them have no clue what's in the Bible. Jesus said, He is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through Him. If we can understand that single verse, we will realize that there is no place for Islam, because Islam stands against everything what we Christians believe. Don't listen to the lies, because you tell us you believe in Jesus, they believe in Moses, and believe in America, and they believe in anything you're worshiping. But the truth is, if you are a Christian, you cannot accept other cults which teach the opposite of the Christian belief. Now, Muslims pray to Allah, guide us to the straight way. And there's only one way. That is Jesus Christ. But when they say this prayer, we're assuming that they're praying to our God because they tell us Allah is God. No, Allah is Satan. Allah in the Quran is the best deceiver. Allah in the Quran is the one who leads you astray. Allah in the Quran is the one who desires to fill hell with you, Christian and Jew. That is Allah, the God of Islam. Allah, the God of Muhammad, has no son, and He will kill all those who believe that Jesus is the Son of God. How can in the world we say we believe in the same God? They pray to Allah to guide them to the straight way, and the only way is the straight way, is the straight way of Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through Him. The picture we're about to see here is the picture of my beloved wife Vicky and Caleb. This is our first time on this mission trip to left Florida without our son. He's now in college, so keep him in your prayer. After 18 years traveling with us, now we're going to have him with us. A little bit rough on Vicky and I. Vicky and I have been married now for 25 years, and I deeply believe in my heart these are the best 25 years of her life. Listen to us on the radio, on VCY. Anybody? Going once, going twice, 2, 3, good. VCY, you can listen by the internet if there's no radio station class here. It is, I've been doing this now for 5 years. We almost 1,000 radio broadcasts. So that's a good 500 or so hours worth of teaching. If you do not have time to listen, you can go to our website and listen to some of my old shows. We have 600-700 programs already recorded there. It's a topical one and series you can enjoy. How many of you listen to us live every Saturday night? 9 to 11 years. 9 to 11. Nobody. Well, you can go to our website and you click, and you find yourself with us live every Saturday night, which we will talk for 2 hours about everything happening within that week. My presentation here is old. This one is actually a good 8 months to 9 months old. But what we do on Saturday night live show is brand new to what's happening every week by week. Revealing the jihad and terrorism of Islam is the presentation for tonight. And it is not revealing the jihad and terrorism of radical Muslim or radical Islam. It is Islam. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You, the American people, will be destroyed. Not maybe, I know for sure you will be destroyed. For me to come to Cape Girardeau to speak to the library, the public library, and we have this small room and it's not filled, that means people do not know and they care less about knowing. America will not be destroyed because of lack of money, even though we're 19 trillion in a hole. It's not because of lack of food or lack of water or lack of air, it is lack of knowledge. Your children and your grandchildren right now learning in this city, propaganda Islam. Allah is God, Jesus, the Muslims believe in Jesus, and women have a high respect in Islam, and all this hogwash Islam. Why? Because you the parents and you the grandparents know nothing about Islam, and that's how Muslims are about to take over America. Around September 11th, there were 5.5 million Muslims live in America. Today, the number will move to 13 million. The expectation by Muslims in the year 2030, that's 14 years from now, there will be 50 million Muslims in America. Islam is worse than cancer. And you allow it to grow by bringing it in, pay for it.
Yep.
For me right now to come from the Middle East as a refugee, I don't even have to buy my flight. You pay for my flight, and when I come here, you pay me. You put me on your in welfare system. You put me on your food stamp and housing and medical care and everything. You are bringing cancer to destroy your own children. Your grandchildren will be cursing the day to have you as grandparents because you did nothing to protect them. Your grandparents died for you, and you do nothing for your own children or your grandchildren in this country. And all this because we have lack of knowledge about Islam. America will not be destroyed by anything but Muslims. And not Muslims from overseas, Muslim Americans, as we're going to see a little bit as we go in our study. When did Muhammad came to this world? It was 610 years later after Christ. The message of Muhammad, whom we teach our children in our public school to be a prophet, is very simple. Jesus Christ is not deity. He is not the Son of God. He did not die on the cross, and he never rose from the dead. And we Christians believe in a lie. And that lie was made by Allah himself, the best deceiver. Quran 3:54. It's written, they deceive and Allah deceive, and Allah is the best deceiver. Do you know what is the deception of Allah in that verse? He made somebody look like Jesus, smell like Jesus, talk like Jesus, and that someone is the one whom the Jew crucified instead of the real Jesus. And we have all believed in the last 2,000 years in a lie that Jesus died on the cross, but in reality, it was not Jesus, it was somebody else. Who did that? Allah. Which Allah? Allah is the God of Muhammad, the best deceiver. And for you to believe in Jesus, to be the Son of God, as we're going to see a little bit later in our presentation, I have to kill you. And I have to rape your wife and your daughters, like it or not. And it's coming to America. Think about your daughters. Think about your granddaughters who will be raped in America, as it is right now all over Europe. And people in Europe, as you are sitting here 70 years ago, they were sitting in some meeting and they mocked people like me who were telling them about what is coming to their children and to their grandchildren. And we're only 15 years behind Europe. The raping of women in Europe are protected by the policemen in Europe. The policemen are protecting the Muslims, allowing them to rape the females of Europe. Why? Because they don't want to offend the Muslim people. But if you open the Quran and read about Islam, you see Allah gave the Muslims the right to kill the men and to rape the women. And it's coming to America. Muhammad is not a prophet. To call Muhammad a prophet is a denial of the deity and the death and the resurrection of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Muhammad, according to the Quran and according to the Hadith, his own teaching, was a child molester, a sex offender, a prophet pretender, a womanizer, an adulterer, a thief, a killer, a thug, a very wicked man. As you see it in ISIS today, it was in Muhammad and his followers 1400 years ago. The story of Islam has not been changed. It just, we ignored it for 1400 years, and we're going to face it in the near future here in America. Where Muhammad was born? In Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Like everybody else, Muhammad was an idol worshiper. He actually worshipped the black stone, which Muslims until today still kiss and worship. At the age of 40, Muhammad went inside some cave. And inside this cave, he had some experience Somebody is hugging him so tight from behind him. You know how many prophets do we have in the Bible? Hundreds. Not one of them ever met with the angel of the Lord by the angel appeared to him like a man hugging him from behind him. That is stupid. And his wife assured him that that spirit is angel Jibreel by taking her clothes off. And the spirit left the room. Now she know for sure that was a godly spirit. Don't forget, Bible said, and no marvel. For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Perhaps Muhammad saw an angel of light. Could it be Satan? I already told you, Allah is Satan. Read the Quran. Or invite me back again in the near future. We have a full presentation. It's called Allah is Satan and Jesus God. Where I go through hundreds of points, verses all over the Quran, teaching of Muhammad, the hadith, where he assured us that Allah is Satan. Now Muhammad continued to live in the city of Mecca. For 13 years, he is making the poetry of the Quran, which we call Mecki Quran, soft Quran. Not loving, not peaceful. There is not one verse in the Quran teach love. There is not one verse in the Quran teach peace. Soft teaching. To you, your religion, to me, my religion. Let's all get along. We hold hands and saying, Kumbaya. And it did not work. Why? Because nobody believed in Muhammad. 47. Let me round the number. 100. 100 people believe in Muhammad after preaching for 13 years. Then his wife Khadija died, who supported him financially. Then his uncle, who protected him politically, died, and Muhammad escaped from the city of Mecca to the city of Medina. And in the city of Medina, Muhammad, that's 210 miles north of Mecca, literally changed. He is now a militant guy. He is now the first ISIS. His few sons hang with him in some of the caves here as a caravan coming from the north to the south, from the south to the north, from Yemen to Syria, Syria to Yemen. He and his followers, the sons, will jump on this caravan, kill the men, take the camel, take the goods, and they have more riches. And then they hire more people. And now the small ISIS became a larger ISIS. And during these years, Muhammad continued to make the poetry of the Quran, which we call Madini chapters. And what happened in the message of Muhammad? Changed. It's no longer this soft Islam, but the barbaric, savage Quran. The real ISIS Quran. All the Medini chapters abrogate the early Meccan chapters. If you have not received or bought my Quran, the Jonas Quran, by the way, the Jonas Quran, there's a real name in Arabic. They translated to you Holy Quran. No, it's not Al-Quran al-Muqaddas, it's Al-Quran al-Kareem. The word Kareem means generous. So even the cover in my book is accurate. There's nothing about holiness in the entire Quran. The Quran is the most unholy book. If you have read it. If you have never read it, yeah, it's a holy book. All the Meccan Quran is abrogated, cancelled, erased, deleted by the Medini Quran. This is a very important doctrine in Islam. It's called the doctrine of abrogation. There's an article we have in the beginning of our book. You need to read it so you can understand what's going on. Now, how many of the Arabs, the Bedouins, who lived with Muhammad in his early days, really believed in him to be a prophet? The answer is none. Listen to what Allah said in Quran 49:14.
The Bedouins said, "We believed." Say, "You did not believe," but say, "We surrendered," became Muslim as a result of fear. And the faith has not entered your hearts. And if you obey Allah and His Messenger, He will not decrease anything from your works. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful.
The Bedouins told Muhammad, "We believe." And Allah is correcting them by telling them, "No, you did not believe. You submitted." What does the word Islam mean? If you ask your children or your grandchildren, they'll tell you, Islam means peace. No, Islam means surrender, submit. There's another word in the Arabic language, which is the word salam, from the Hebrew word shalom, which means peace. But you're ignorant about Islam and you're ignorant about the Arabic language, so anything Muslim would say is true. Including the name of the religion. Islam means peace? How can Islam means peace if there's not one verse in the Quran teach peace, and Muslims live the last 1430 some years since Muhammad claimed to be a prophet until today to live in war? Logic, common sense. Have you heard any of the 57 Muslim countries practice peace a day? They submit as a result of fear. Imagine with me, ISIS was there, and America was not there to stop them. And what ISIS were doing, were killing the men, raping the women, as it is written in the Quran. Faith never entered their hearts. They were never believer. Muhammad did not say, I'm commanded to kill you until you believe. He said, no, I'm commanded to kill you until you say, there is no God but Allah, and I am His messenger. Just to say the Shahada, the first pillar in Islam, you become a Muslim. You become a submitter, not a believer. It is the largest state, 100 years. It is the largest ISIS state, 100 years. See, when Muhammad died, he was able to take the Saudi Arabia Peninsula, and he was able to accomplish this in 1 year. He preached, claiming to be a prophet, 23 years. 22 years, he gained nothing. And in the last year of his life, he was able to take the entire Saudi Arabia Peninsula. And Muhammad died, and he left in the Saudi Arabia 12 armies. 12 armies. And these armies were able to travel all over the land to take over one city at a time, one country at a time. And look how big it was in 100 years. And if you look at the map carefully, many of these countries actually were Christians. Egypt was a Christian land. Turkey was a Christian land. Syria was a Christian land. Almost all these lands in the Middle East were Christian land. And we're talking about 600 years after Christianity spread. They killed the men. They raped the women. And they produced the next generation, a Muslim generation. They have not raped any American females yet, but they're marrying your daughters. And they're producing Muslim babies out of your daughters. As we're going to see a little bit in our study, the day will come, they will be raping the other daughters who refuse to marry them. Because Allah tells them, Muslims have the right to take any female of any infidel. They must kill every infidel. How about the wonderful Muslim friends we have in America? Some of the doctors who work here in Cape Girardeau, they're wonderful doctors. And they're a great evidence that what I'm teaching here tonight is a lie. No, they are practicing another portion of the Quran which you are still ignorant of. It's called taqiyya. Taqiyya is protection. I'm going to lie to you to protect myself from you. Because if I come to you and tell you, my name is Muhammad, and I want to kill you so I can rape your wife and your daughters, what are you going to do to me? You're going to give me your living room? Come join us? Or are you going to kill me? The only way I can protect myself, as Allah taught the Muslims in the Quran, is to pretend to be our friends. Or that doctor and that engineer and that teacher and that student are so ignorant, so stupid that they do not know anything about Islam. There are plenty of Christians who know nothing about Christianity. They're Baptist, they're Catholic, they're Presbyterian. But if you open the Bible and ask them any question, I will give 10 questions, easy, true or false. 10 simple questions to the American people about Christian faith. I promise you, 99% of the American people are going to fail it. Simple questions. As a matter of fact, we did it here in Cape. When we have this, what do you call this place in Raleigh here, you do it once a year, we will go have hot dog, all the games, all the fun, what do you call it?
Fair.
The fair. And with 10 questions, true and false. And I'm not kidding you. I stood up there with Brother Randy for a whole 2 days. And people come and ask the question. The false are true and the true are false. Simple questions. Listen, what Allah said to the Muslim in the Quran. How to live with you in America in the early days when Islam is not strong.
Believers, do not take the infidels for friends rather than the believers. And whoever does this, so he has nothing to do with Allah, except that you should guard yourself from them cautiously. And Allah Himself warns you, and to Allah is the final return.
There are 5 important words in the Quran, in my opinion. There may be more to others. The word except, the word unless, the word but, the word when, and the word if. When you read a verse in the Quran and you see one of these 5 words, you need to wake up. If you're asleep, wake up. Something important is coming. Allah here is speaking to the believers. He's not talking to radicals. He's not talking to extremists. As a matter of fact, you will never find a verse in the Quran where Allah said radicals. He's always talking to believers. And he talked about the unbelievers, the infidels. He said, believers, don't you dare take infidels for friends. Except his exception, that you should guard yourself from them cautiously. Listen to the interpretation of the great Muslim scholar Al-Jalalain. Not Usama Dakto, the great Muslim scholar Al-Jalalain. He said, If you're afraid of them, you can take them as friend with your tongue, not with your heart. I love you. You're my special friend. You're the best neighbor. That's how Muslims do it. With their tongue, not with their hearts. Can you learn anything from what the Muslim did in Europe 30 years ago? I'm not talking about 300 years ago or 3,000 years ago. I'm talking about 30 years ago. They tell the Europeans, we love you. And today, they're killing them and raping them. And that is before the might of Islam. And that can be practiced to whoever live in a country is not strong in it. Like Muslim at USA. They're not strong. They cannot fight you. For heaven's sake, if each one of you use one bullet out of 1,000, Muslim will be dead in 5 minutes in America. So they're weak. They have to take you as friends to protect themselves from you. How about the Muslim peaceful ones which we have all over America? Quran 47:35. Allah said,
So do not be weak, and do not call for peace when you have the upper hand.
you got it when. Here's another important word. One of my 5 important words of the Quran. When you have the upper hand. Do Muslims have the upper hand in America? No. Soon they will. I know for sure. I bet my life on it. But when they don't have the upper hand, they are commanded by Allah to be weak, to be peaceful. Peace in Islam means weakness. Peace in America means strength. The opposite is in Islam. Listen to the interpretation of that verse by the great Muslim scholar Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir said, do not be weak with the enemy. Do not cause them for peace. Don't have cease of fighting between you and the infidel, al-kuffar. In the case of your strength, when you have large number of weapon and people. If the infidels have strength and large number of weapon and people, he meant, you can do what the Messenger of Allah did with the infidels of Quraysh. He made an agreement with them to have peace with them for 10 years. You know how long this peace lasted? 3 years. That's the year 62 of Muhammad's life. 632 after Christ. Why? Because Muhammad had enough men, had enough weapon, and he went back to Mecca. That's when he killed all the Jews, all the Christians. As a matter of fact, gave them 4 months to run for their life. Go read Quran chapter 9, the final word of Allah, as Muhammad claimed he received it from Angel Jibreel. That's the reality about the peaceful Muslim. Listen to this very important statement here. It's written by Joseph Goebbels. This man is so powerful, so smart. He helped Hitler and he helped the destruction of millions of people. And he is a good, he's giving a good advice here. Listen to his advice.
If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The truth is the mortal enemy of the lie.
The catch here is this. You tell a lie big enough and you keep repeating it. Let me ask most American people, 70% or so of American people believe Islam is a loving, peaceful religion. As a matter of fact, we are convincing the Muslims that Islam is a loving, peaceful religion. Why? Because we heard the lie through our politicians, through our liberal media, and by the wonderful political correctness of America, and we're teaching to our children right now in every public school. And guess what? The day is coming, we're gonna pay for your stupidity of political correctness.
Yeah.
Islam is not a peaceful religion. Jihad and terrorism is Islam. Allah commanded the Muslim to perform jihad, and the teaching of the Quran is very clear. Allah is a terrorist. Every Muslim believer is a terrorist. If you are a believer, if you don't believe in Islam, that's another thing. Then get out of it. Don't you dare make me a new title, moderate Muslim. Does not exist. Because there is no moderate Islam. The problem is in Islam, not in the Muslim people. I believe Muslims are victim number 1 of Islam. And the rest of the world, the rest of humanity is victim number 2. Do Muslim people really lie? The closest thing to your heart is your faith. If you love your husband or your wife, if you love your children or anybody more than God, you don't deserve God. That's why the Bible said we must love them less. Some translation put it wrong in the English language, say hate them. No, Jesus never taught us to hate anybody. We don't even hate our enemies. So love less is an accurate translation. Anything you put before God become your God. Faith is the closest thing to the man's heart or woman's heart, because that's number one. Now listen to what Allah taught the Muslim people to do in Quran chapter 16, verse 106. Listen.
Whoever becomes an infidel in Allah after he believed, except one who was compelled and his heart is secure in faith, but whoever opens his chest to the infidelity, the wrath of Allah will be on them, and they will have great torment.
Once again, the word accept is very important. You leave Islam with your free will, you're dead. Fox News did two TV show, an hour each, about honor killing. And they end by telling you the last 5 minutes of each one of these two shows that it is culture. That's a lie from the bottom of hell. Quran chapter 6 verse 151. It is Islam. It is Allah's word. It's not culture. Christians and Jews and atheists in Egypt do not kill their daughters when they got pregnant out of marriage, or if their children leave their beliefs. Only Muslims do that. Why? Because Allah taught this. Quran 6:151, Allah stated, do not kill the soul which Allah forbid, that is a Muslim soul, except for a just cause. What is a just cause? Listen to Muhammad's own words. Muhammad said, the blood of the Muslim cannot be shed except in 3 cases. In case of murder, in the case of adultery, and in the case of apostation. Leaving Islam causes people to die. But here's the exception, except one who was compelled and his heart is secure in faith. Like who? Maybe like Barack Hussein Obama. He knows very well, if he comes to the American people 7.5 years ago, and as I taught this even a year before he was a president, I said, he will lie to you and he will tell you I'm a Christian. Because that's the only way he can be a president. Sadly, until today, 60% of the American people care less if he's a Muslim or not. Why? Because they're ignorant of Islam. It's okay for Muslims to lie and to deny their faith. Thousands of Christians were killed the last 2 years by the hand of ISIS, another Muslim jihadist organization. Why? Because they refused to deny their faith. But Allah in the Quran, the God of Muhammad, said to himself, it's okay, you can lie, as long as your heart is secure in faith. How about the next lie here? Lying while Muslims give us an oath to become an American. We are so naive in America. We really believe whenever a Muslim man or woman stand up, raise their right hand, and give allegiance to that flag, to our Constitution, we automatically believe that they really meant it. And they're Muslims. And now we give them the title American Muslims or Muslim Americans. An oxymoron title. When you say American Muslim or Muslim Americans, that tells me that you are so stupid, you know nothing about America or Islam. See, for me to become American 20-some years ago, I gave allegiance to this country. I'm willing to take an arm and go fight against my own country of Egypt with America, because my allegiance to here came over to supersede my allegiance to Egypt there. But Muslims don't do that. Why? Listen to Allah's word. Quran 2:225. Allah said,
Allah will not hold you responsible for your mere utterance in an oath, but He will hold you responsible for that which your hearts gained. And Allah is forgiving, forbearing.
Did you mean it? No, then it's okay. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, Faisal Shahzad, the New York Square bomber, the guy who's trying to put a big bomb to kill as few thousand as he can in New York Times Square, he was stood up before the judge lady in New York, and she asked him, didn't you become a citizen last year? He said, yes. Didn't you give allegiance last year? He said, I said it, but I did not mean it. How many media talk about that? Not even Fox. Fox mentioned this 10 seconds. They should make a big deal about it. Why? To wake you up. To make you realize that there are Muslims in America who gave us allegiance and they never meant it. They will never mean it. Their allegiance is already given to Allah, to Muhammad, to Islam, to their Muslim country where they come from, to the Muslim neighboring countries they're friend with, to the Muslim neighboring countries they're enemy with. There is no room for America. And the proof is very simple. Monday morning, they become citizens. Tuesday morning, they go to our legislator, our dumb legislator, asking them to exchange our constitution by their constitution, Sharia, Islamic law. Can't you see that? And the stupid Democrat care less about us, care less about our Constitution, and they will give anything the Muslim will ask for, including Gizm Sharia, to be practiced in every state and every court of law in America. Let me give you one example. My home state, Florida. Senate Bill 328, Senate Bill 328 was passed a law 2 years ago. And I couldn't believe that Governor Scott was able to do that. I was shocked. Why? Because we got enough Republicans to vote right. Have this been any other state, though, where the liberal have a larger number, there's a zero chance for it to pass. And listen to the number. Listen to the number. 24 Republican senators voted yes. All 14 Democrat senators voted no. 78 congressmen and women voted yes. 74 out of the 78 were Republican. Only 4 Democrats voted yes because they were coming up for re-election. And the rest of the 42 dumb Democrat congressmen and women in my state, Florida, voted no. And the bill was very simple. It says, we will not allow Muslims to practice Sharia, Islamic law, in the state court of Florida. Very simple. Why a Democrat vote no? Because they're stupid and they care less about our Constitution, they care less about our country, and then CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, said, you know what? These Republicans are not Americans. Why? Because they don't practice tolerance. Throw my Constitution in the trash can and allow it to put Sharia in our court. That will make me a tolerant person or make me un-American. I'm sorry, the Democrats are un-American because they're stupid. Lies in general. This is what Muhammad taught the Muslim in general. Lies in general.
Muhammad said, it is lawful to lie in 3 cases. A man to his wife that she will be pleased with him, or at a time of war, because war is deception, or to make peace between people.
See, Muslim will tell you, it is forbidden, it's haram to lie. But we only lie in 3 cases. To our wives, and to our enemies, and to our friends. And besides that, we don't lie at all. Listen to this lie.
Boo! Sorry.
Now let's make 2 things clear. ISIL is not Islamic. No religion condones the killing of innocents, and the vast majority of ISIL's victims have been Muslim. ISIL is a terrorist organization, pure and simple, and it has no vision other than the slaughter of all who stand in its way. In a region that has known so much bloodshed, these terrorists are unique in their brutality. They execute captured prisoners. They kill children. They enslave, rape, and force women into marriage. They threatened the religious minority with genocide. And, in acts of barbarism, they took the lives of 2 American journalists, Jim Foley and Steven Sotloff. Our intelligence community believes that thousands of foreigners, including Europeans and some Americans, have joined them in Syria and Iraq. Trained and battle-hardened, these fighters could try to return to their home countries and carry out deadly attacks.
How do I know Obama is not lying? Never. He always lies. That man, I used to think maybe when he's sleeping, when he does not move his lips, he's not lying. I think when he's sleeping, he lies in his dreams too. He's the super smart liar, professional. I mean, he's lying right and left. Literally, we have a full presentation. It's called Revealing the Truth About ISIS. I was going to do it tonight, but then I found out that's what the one you advertised for this meeting. I would love to come back again, where we talk that speech and break it to 2 hours to prove he's lying in every word. And I'm not even spending too much time. I'm going fast over it. How can he get away with this lie? It's very simple. Because he knows you are ignorant. You know nothing about Islam. Who will believe that Muslim will rape women? Who will believe that Muslim will kill their prisoners of war? That does not fit with Islam because you're ignorant of Islam. But if you open the Quran and study the doctrine of belief of Islam, you find everything ISIS is doing is true. As a matter of fact, we set this presentation purposely to dare Nahed Oud, the head of Council on American Islamic Relations, as I dared him on many international radio programs. I say, I dare you for a debate. And in that debate, show me one thing, just one thing ISIS is saying or doing does not fit with the doctrine and belief of Islam. with the Orthodox doctrine belief of Islam. And he never take my debate yet. And I don't think he will never be. You know why? I can share with him what I'm going to tell him. I challenge him to debate me on it. It's not going to work. When Mr. Obama said, ISIS are not a good Muslim because they're killing their prisoners of war. Do you know what Allah said in the Quran about that? Allah said, it is not lawful. Oh, no, let me say it again. Let me back it up. It is not for a prophet to have prisoners of war. Unless, here's the word unless, he has made a great slaughter among them. So a good prophet in Islam is a man who has prisoners of war, kill plenty of them, and then keep some for prisoners of war. But the good thing in Islam is to kill plenty of people, of those whom you're captive in your arms, prisoners of war. The opposite of what Mr. Obama said. He said, most of their victims are Muslims. That's not true. As you can hear the same lie, once again, from Mr. Bush. But before we get to Mr. Bush, let's see to Howard Dean. This, I call him the useful idiot here.
Yeah, this is a chronic problem. I stopped calling these people Muslim terrorists. They're about as Muslim as I am. I mean, they have no respect for anybody else's life. That's not what the Quran says.
Really? They have no respect for life. That's not what the Quran says. That useful idiot did not read my Quran, which I sent to him 6 years ago. We actually, the first thing we did in our ministry when we published the Quran, while it's still hot coming from the print, we sent a copy to every senator, to every congressman, to every governor, to the high Supreme Justice Court. I did my part, but they did not do the part. They just simply read the book. As most of you tonight are going to leave this meeting without getting a copy of my Quran because simply you don't care or you don't have time, you're busy. I hope and I pray not one of you leave tonight without getting a copy of my Quran. They already sent me the fatwa to have me there for translating the Quran. And I challenged the Muslim all over America, everywhere we go, show me one verse in our Quran that's not accurate translation. Show me one word that's not accurate. The only difference between my translation and their translation is theirs are sugar-coated, like the one that took the blood out and put a lot of sugar in it. You don't even see anything wrong. Mine is accurate. And I challenge you to get a copy. Maybe you say, oh, Brother Islam, I don't have $20. Send us $20 again later in the future. Yeah, 5 months from now, a year from now. Remember us with $20 in the near future. It's a donation anyway. We don't sell them. He never read the book. Because if you have read the book, I can share with him 100 verse. 100 verse in the Quran to show you, don't respect the life of non-Muslim. The only life to be protected is the Muslim life, and everybody else must be put to death. Unless you have some benefit from it, a female to rape or to raise Muslim baby out of. A professional first line. On that wall, behind this picture here, Mr. George W. Bush, 4 days after September 11th, he brought the Muslim Brotherhood to the White House. As a matter of fact, Nahad Awad was standing just right here. The head of CARE. Esna was there. Literally, at least 6 of these 8 men from 6 jihadi organizations. A lady was in hijab. So it was not Mr. Barack Hussein Obama who brought the Muslim Brotherhood to the White House. It was Bush 7 years before that. And I spoke against Bush about everything he said about Islam for long 7 years. And many of the conservative church did not like me because I am crossing the line, not respecting the office of the President of the United States of America. I said, no, they did not respect the office. They don't earn the respect of their position. That's the problem in America. We don't, if somebody important and do some boo-boo, it's okay. You know why Hillary is going to be your president? Because when her husband has sex with that lady, nobody gets upset. You know, nobody impeach him. Had he been impeached on the spot, Hillary would have no face to even run for any office. You're very forgiving. You have no respect for the office. And when somebody like me shows the real respect for office to defend the office, now I'm the bad guy. Should we respect Jesus for cleaning the temple? He has no right to do it, does he? Yes. He's supposed to teach to turn the other cheek. But there is a time where you speak the truth against whoever is in office to keep the harmony, to keep the honor and the respect of the office. Listen to what Mr. Bush said just 4 days after September 11th.
As we work together to defeat the terrorists, we must be very clear about the enemies we face. The killers who take the lives of innocent men, women, and children are followers of a violent ideology very different from the religion of Islam.
Really?
These extremists distort the idea of jihad into a call for terrorist murder against anyone who does not share their radical vision, including Muslims from other traditions who they regard as heretics. Their strategy will fail. Many Muslim scholars have already publicly condemned terrorism, often citing chapter 5, verse 32 of the Quran, which states that killing an innocent human being is like killing all of humanity, and saving the life of one person is like saving all of humanity.
So the one who attacked us on September 11 have a different ideology than the Islamic ideology. No, they actually, the 19 hijackers, they were practicing the teaching of the word of Allah in the Quran and the command of Muhammad, the Hadith. They are the only one who know Islam ideology. And that man is a liar. They changed jihad to mean what? What is jihad, Mr. President? Is jihad to kiss the American on the cheeks? There's only one meaning for jihad. It's a holy war. It's to kill men, rape women, period. 26 verses of the Quran where Allah talk about jihad, and all of them teach the same message. Kill men, rape women. Period. Not what we teach our children in public school today. Jihad is internal struggle. Struggle from within to have peace and love. Jihad is for daddy to work so hard and provide money for mama so she can cook you good warm food and keep the house clean so you can study and get A's. Really? That is jihad? We're changing the hermeneutics of Islam now. We have our own interpretation to appease the Muslims. And we teach that to our own children in every public school, including Cape Girardeau schools. Shame on you. You ignorant people. We got a presentation, it's called Lies in the Textbooks. I can do it in 3 nights. Literally, 2-hour nights, 3 nights. And I'll cover 15 lies. They're brainwashing your own children with your ignorance, with your own money, in your own public schools, and your children will gonna grow. They're gonna grow in your own community as Muslims. 10 years from now, your children will be destroying this country. Not the Muslims, not ISIS, your own children will be destroying this country. Because they learn a lie, and the lie was repeated often enough, and they believe it. And then he said, many Muslims, scholars, he calls them scholars, condemned the act of September 11. I'm sorry, for the last 14 years, Muslims all over the world, including Muslims in America, still celebrate September 11. They pass candy in the streets of Egypt and many other countries on September 11. That is the day where the Muslim heroes killed 3,000 Americans. Nobody condemned September 11. As a matter of fact, some of the people the liberals are using to condemn September 11 have 2 videos, one in English, one in Arabic. In English, we condemn September 11. In Arabic, they say, we celebrate September 11. That is the day where we saw the infidels killed by the hand of the true believers. Same guys, same imams. But you're a stupid American, you believe whatever lie Muslims tell you because you're naive and you're stupid. You don't know anything about Islam, do you? Mr. Obama, Mr. Bush repeat the same lie. Most of those who have been killed by ISIS, or most of those who were killed by the terrorists, were Muslim. No, let me tell it to you tonight. Not one Muslim ever were killed by any Muslim jihad. Not one. Wait a minute, but the Shia have been killing the Sunni, and the Sunni because the Shia for reasons. As a matter of fact, ISIS, the Sunni, are killing other other Sunnis in Syria and Iraq. Yeah, they're killing them because they're not Muslims. For every Shia, Sunni is an infidel, and for every Sunni, Sunni is an infidel. They believe the other is an infidel. Or because they're hypocrites. How do I know a hypocrite now? There's a question. Who are the hypocrites? Well, yeah, they're Muslim, but they're hypocrites. How do I know a Muslim, a real Muslim, from a hypocrite? It's very simple. Give him a knife, give him a Jew, and a Christian. If they behave the Jew as a Christian, they're good Muslims. If not, they're hypocrites. I made this up. No, actually, that is what is written in the Quran. Quran chapter 3 and verse 167. Listen to the word of Allah.
And that he might know the hypocrites, and it was said to them, come engage in war for the sake of Allah, or contribute. They said, if we knew how to engage in war, we would have followed you. They are closer on that day to infidelity than to faith. They say with their mouths what is not in their hearts, and Allah knows best what they hide.
He, Allah. Allah will know the hypocrite. How? Two things. Invite him to come engage in war for the sake of Allah, or to contribute. Give us money and we'll go kill them for you. Saudi Arabia. Hey, listen to the liberal media. Say, well, Saudi Arabia is a happy or bad Muslim. Why? Because they get involved in jihad. You know, they go and kill. Wait a minute. What about the rest of the Saudi who support jihad financially? The jihad in Islam are two. Their jihad was life and their jihad was money. As a matter of fact, Allah put money first. Those who perform jihad with their money and their life for the sake of Allah. So if you want to give money, you are performing jihad. If you're going to go and fight and kill it by yourself, you are performing jihad. And if you're not doing either one, you are not a Muslim. You are a hypocrite. So what Muslims should do now? We found out these Muslims in this side here, they're hypocrites. They don't want to give us money to kill the infidels, and they want to come and engage in war with us to kill the infidels. What should we do to them? Should we pray for them? Give them a second chance? No. We practice the word of Allah. Quran chapter 9 and verse 73. Listen to the word of Allah.
O you prophet, perform jihad against the infidels and the hypocrites, and be harsh with them, and their abode will be hell, and evil is the destination.
The jihad to be performed against two groups, infidels, that's all non-Muslims, and hypocrites, who are the Muslim by names. To be harsh with them, not only they will kill them by their hands, but Allah will send them to hell forever. So it's okay for ISIS to kill the Jordanian pilot, burn him alive. After all, he was dropping bomb on ISIS. Mr. Bush lied to the American people, and he told us that many Muslim scholars condemned September 11, and then he said, as he quoted from the Quran, which states, guys, if you write a paper, if you've been in college, or high school, you write a paper and use the word state or a quote, you have to open a quotation. You have to put the statement as it is. You don't change any word, you don't take any words out, you don't put any words in, and then you put the end of the quotation, okay? If you want to change the word, you don't say as state, you say as I paraphrase it. I'm going to say it in my own words. And you can change it however you wish. Mr. Bush lied to the American people because he knows you are ignorant of the Quran and not one of you have a copy to go and examine what he said. And he said, which states killing an innocent person like killing all humanity and saving the life of innocent person like saving the life of all humanity. I dare Mr. Bush to show me that verse in the Quran. As a matter of fact, here's the entirety of the verse. Listen to the true words of Allah.
For this reason we inscribed for the children of Israel that he who kills a soul without a soul or vandalizes on the earth, so it will be only as though he had killed all the people, and that he who gives it a life, it will be as though he had given life to all the people.
But Mr. Bush did not read to us the first line read. And he paraphrased that as he said it states. For this reason we, Allah, inscribed for the children of Israel, the Jews, not the Mohammedans, not the Muslims, not one Muslim believed in that verse to be written to them. As a matter of fact, that verse is not in the Bible either. Other books, as Jewish people added to the Bible, historical books, talk about that, but not in the Bible. What happened if Mr. Bush quoted the verse as it is? Then he loses point. He's trying to teach us that Muslims in September 11 who attacked September were not Muslims. Why? Because the Quran teaches you don't kill innocent people. No, that is a verse for the Jews. Do you notice that Mr. Bush, with all the Muslim scholars, the wonderful one he met with, could not find one verse in the Quran to support that Islam is a loving, peaceful religion? Because if they had found one, he would be quoted here. He literally found a verse written about the Jews. He took it out of context, removed the first sentence out, and he convinced the American people that they have nothing to do with Islam. You were so hot on the day. Flags of America flying everywhere. On it was written, "United we stand, one nation under God." You remember that? Remember that flag? I remember it. You were so hot. And he got a bucket of water and he dumped it on you to cool you off, to tell you this has nothing to do with Islam. No, it had to do everything with Islam. And the proof is this: not 533, but 532, but 533, what Muslims really believe and what ISIS and every Muslim jihadi practice. Here is what Muslims really believe.
Surely the reward of those who war against Allah and His Messenger and go to vandalize on the earth is only they that will be killed or crucified or have their hands and legs cut off on opposite sides, or they will be banished from the earth. This is their disgrace in this world, and in the hereafter they will have a great torment.
Killing, crucifying, cutting hands and legs from opposite side, banishing from the earth. Exactly what ISIS has been practiced the last 3 years. Exactly what every Muslim jihadi believers practice from the days of Muhammad until today. And these are the 5 reasons here, or 4 reasons here, where Mr. Obama tries to convince in another speech that these ISIS are not Muslims. Really? Because they're crucifying people, that's Islam. Because they're cutting hands and legs of people, that's Islam. Because they're raping women, and that is Islam. What? That is Islam. And we got the verses of the Quran to support it. Now we move 4 months later, the first State of the Union address. And here's Mr. Bush himself speaking to all America. After the first speech here, after September 11th.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. It's practiced freely by many millions of Americans, and by millions more in countries that America counts as friends. His teachings are good and peaceful, and those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah. The terrorists...
You know who clapped hands for Mr. Bush? Our 100 dumb senator, 435 stupid congressmen and women, the cabinet men, everybody clap hands. Why? Because Mr. Bush is telling us those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah, not knowing that these 19 hijackers were practicing the commands and the teaching of Allah. When I saw these things, I want to go inside my TV and I grab Mr. Bush by his neck and say, "Stop lying to the American people." You know what I found out later? Mr. Bush was John the Baptist for Jesus. Mr. Bush was John the Baptist for Mr. Barack Hussein Obama. He prepared the American people to receive the first Muslim president. He prepared the way for the Muslims to take over America by lying to the American people right and left. And many people think I'm crazy when I said Mr. Bush is destroying America. Had it not for Mr. Bush, Obama would have never be the president of America. Look what he's doing. We respect your faith, he said. Calling Islam a faith is a crime against humanity. Calling Islam a faith is a crime against Muslims. Because imagine with me, just use your imagination. If I'm a Mohammedan and I saw what happened on September 11th and I start doubting that that is a religion from heaven and I start believing that that is a very barbaric savage cult, and then I listen to Mr. Bush praising Allah, praising Muhammad, praising Islam, praising the Muslim, and he tell me that what happened have nothing to do with Islam, and I say, "Oh, praise you Allah." Now I know I'm still under a new face. He, Mr. Bush, led Muslims to hell in America. Those who were about to leave Islam after September 11th, because he convinced them that have nothing to do with Islam. Calling Islam a faith is a crime. How in the world do you call Islam a faith when that faith called